Hello aspirants, welcome to our channel Love for Reasoning. I am your faculty Shiva. Now I have got a very good test paper over here based on the SBI Associates. So please let us observe the questions given over here. I hope you like it. 6 friends scored different marks in the board examination. Now this particular question is based on ranking. Now how many persons are there? 6 members are there. Okay, let's write it down. There are 6 members in this particular question. Now I must tell you, it is very clear that the person who has got highest marks is going to receive the rank number 1, and the person who has got the least number of marks is going to be awarded what rank? 6th rank. Am I clear? Now please do remember this information for a long period, because this is going to be help you out. Even though this information is very familiar, please keep this in your mind. The person who has got highest marks is always going to receive the rank 1, and person who has got least marks is going to receive the rank 6. Now let us see here. The first line says Z scored more marks than you. Clear? Right. Now the information I am just going to present it in this way. Z scored more marks than you. It is clearly given that Z got more marks than you, but less than V. This but is indicating to Z, it is not indicating to you. So whenever you see a keyword called and, is, but, all these 3 keywords are referring to the first person in your line. And who is the first person over here? They are talking about Z here. It is not giving you the information about you, but whereas it is giving you the information about Z. Now please do understand over here that Z got more marks than you, but Z got less marks than whom here? V. So now I am going to represent my information in this way, that V got more marks than Z and V also got more marks than you. This is what I understood from the given information, but please do remember, I cannot use that information and try to place it over here. It is not possible for me, because I may receive a lot of possibilities. So let us move forward. W scored fewer marks than X. Not just W. I have missed a sentence. If at all you closely observe, only. This is also a very important keyword which actually eliminates a lot of possibilities and gives you a very good clarity. If at all you read the sentence one more time, only W scored less marks than X. So this is what you need to understand here. Only W scored. So it means X and W are going to come at these positions. X is going to have the position number 5 and W is going to take the position number 6. Only W got less than X. So all other persons apart from W got more marks than X, it seems. So W is the only person got less marks than X. That is what it is indicating. So please understand here, they are not saying W got less marks than only X. No, it is clearly mentioning that only the X person is going to be having the less marks. Only one person is going to stay below the X. So who is that fellow now? W. So rest of the persons are going to have a very more good marks than X. This is what it is indicating here. So only W scored fewer marks or less marks are both one and the same. So fewer marks than X. So now I have to represent W at 6th position and X at 5th position. Now let's move forward. Y scored fewer marks than Z but more than you. It is clearly mentioning that Y is scoring more than Z. Y scored fewer marks than Z. So fewer marks than Z, then I have to place Y over here. You know why? Clearly it is mentioning Y scored less marks than Z but more than you. So this is the way I am going to represent it. Z got more than Y and Y got more than you. And it is again indicating V is greater than all the other 3 persons. So now I have to bring those people over here very clearly. I can get my answers very fast. So Z is going to take the 2nd place, Y is going to take the 3rd place, and U is going to take the 4th place. Now this is very easy. I hope you understood. So very simple, that W is the only person got less marks than whom? X. So rest of the persons got more marks than X. So I have placed X and W at 5th and 6th position respectively. Now the next information, Y got fewer marks than Z, but Y got very good marks than U. So it is indicating V, Z, Y, U. So now let's move forward with the questions. What are the questions we have got here? Let's observe here. Who scored more marks than you but less than V? This is what it is mentioning. Who scored more than you? More than you but less than V. Who are the two persons we have got here? We have got Z and Y. That is the option number C is your answer. What is your answer? C is the answer for the first given question. Now let's go with the second one. But before going to the second one, I think we have missed a small information over here. The one who scored the second highest mark is 80. Now please do remember this information, we have skipped it. Now I'm just writing it down. Okay, so please understand, I am also a human being. Obviously I also do a lot of mistakes. Do not understand a faculty means he's not going to skip a small information, he's not going to commit any mistake. So please understand this information very carefully. I am also a human being, so let me also commit some mistakes, but I am really rectifying it very quickly. So now let's see here. Let's go with the second question. If the sum of the marks by Z and Y is 155. So now we already knew this information. Z has got 80 marks. Now in order to become score dash marks, yes, we already got our answers, that is option number C. The difference in between Y and V is 15. You came to know that Y marks are 75. 75 plus 15 is how much? 90. So that's my answer, option number C. Let's see the third question please. How many persons scored more than W but less than V but less than Y? How many persons are there? 2 persons are there. That is option number A. I hope I am clear, right? Let's move forward to the next question. Now what is the question I have got here? 8 toys A to H were kept one above the other on the shelves, which is in the form of a stack. The stack is nothing but a small shelf. It is clearly placed one above the other, it seems. So let's see how many toys are there, how many shelves are there. We have got 8 shelves. So let me write it down over here, 8 shelves. Right, okay, now let's see. 3 toys were kept in between G and B. Please understand, in between G and B, how many toys are there? 3 toys are there. I'm just going to write down in a short way in which you can understand, in which I can understand in my examination. In between G and B, 3 toys are there. This is the number, I'm just placing it. Now next information, H was kept immediately above B. Immediately above B, I have to bring whom here? H, and that is also immediately. I'm just going to write it in a short way always, because I cannot use that information and I cannot arrange my puzzle over here. That is why, and I cannot read this information and I cannot remember it for a long period in examination. As soon as I read it, immediately I'm just going to represent in a small way so that I can have this idea as soon as I look into this particular short form. Right, next, either B or G was kept at the bottom of the shelf. So either B or G is going to come in the position number 8. Right, next one, 2 toys were kept between C and H. Okay, this is also a very good information. I'm just going to place a box so that these are going to be highlighted. Right, next, the number of toys kept below E was the same as the number of persons kept above F. Okay, so the number of toys kept below E is equal to number of toys kept above F. Okay, not number of persons, it has to be toys. Okay, no toys were kept between A and F. So please, in between A and F there are 0 toys. Am I clear? Now without looking into this information, by just observing what I have written over here, I can say what are the hints. Very clearly, in between G and B only 3 toys are there, above B immediately, this IM is indicating immediately H should come, and in between B and G one has to come at the position number 8. Next, in between C and H there are 2 gap. The number of persons, the number of toys down to E is equal to the number of toys up to F. In between A and F there is no gap at all. So now let's go with this information. I'll try to go and try to place G and B, because it is very clear out of these 2 persons one has to come at the bottom. So now if I place, okay, let us write it down. Okay, now for an example, if I place B here, 1 2 3, G will come over here. Immediately above B I have to bring H. Immediately above B I have to bring H. Next, another information, you might be having a different concept in your mind. Sir, why did you place B at position number 8? Why are you not placing B at position number 4 also? Yes, I'm going to do the second possibility. Now if I place B here at position number 4, I am going to receive G at position number 8. And you already have this information. Above B immediately I have to bring whom here? H. Yes, I am doing both the possibilities simultaneously for your better understanding. Now let us observe here the another information you see here. In between C and H there should be 2 gap, but it is never mentioned whether it is below or whether it is above. Now in the possibility case number 1 over here, there is no below, I have to go above. So now 1 and 2 I have to bring C here. Is it possible? No, definitely this is not possible. It means the second case is going to be the correct one. Now let's see here. I have to go above here 1 and 2. There should be a gap of 2 in between H and C. Is it possible? No, it is definitely not possible. Then I'll go below. So 1 and 2, now C is going to come at position number 6. Am I clear? Right, now let's move on to this information. What is this information saying here? In between A and F there are 0, and as well as the number of persons to the bottom of E is equal to the number of persons to the upside of F. Now what is the way I have to place here is very clearly, if I place E here, tell me how many are there below E? Only 1. Now if I place A here, okay, and if I place F here, why I am placing A and F? Because in between A and F there are 0 persons in between them. Now number of persons to the top of F are how many? 1. So number of persons to the bottom of E are how many? Only 1. And there is no gap in between F and A. Some of you might be thinking, sir, why are you not replacing it as F and A over here? But immediately number of persons to the top of F are going to be 0, but whereas number of persons to the bottom of E are going to be how many? 1. That is why you cannot allow F at position number 1. I placed F at position number 2 and I have placed A for position number 1. So this is the way we are going to get, and the only person left over in our entire puzzle is D. Even though you do not receive any information about that person, you can easily write it down, the name of that person over here, because only leftover person and the only leftover place. I hope you understood this, right? Let us move forward and try to solve our questions. Which toy was kept at the top of the shelf? Now which one is at the top of the shelf? That is option number B. Option number B, that is A. Next one, the number of toys kept between A and B was same as between. Now tell me, in between A and B how many are there? 2. The same amount of 2 should come in the place of these options. I hope you can see the options. Let me zoom it out so that you can view it better. Right, C and F. Now tell me whether C and F has got the same number of persons. Let's see. C and F. C and F are going to have 3 persons in between them. When C and F are having 3 persons in between them, it's not going to be correct. Next, C and G. In between C and G, how many are there? In between C and G, there are only one person, but we are supposed to receive two. F and H, no, 0 persons. How about D and as well as G? Yes, 2 persons. So my answer is option number D. Correct? Right. Next one. Let's see the sixth question. What is it saying? Toy E was kept immediately below. Immediately below, toy E is kept immediately below of what? C. That is toy C. Option number B is your answer. Next. Which of the following statements is or false? Okay, let's see. F was kept immediately above H. Immediately above H is correct, but your examiner is asking you to identify which one is a false one. Next, two toys were kept between D and F. In between D and F, two toys are kept. Yes, this is also correct information, but we are supposed to go with the wrong one. Other than the given options, let us move forward and look into the next options. Only 3 toys were kept above D. Whether only 3 toys are kept above D? No, this is the false information. So my answer became what? Option number D. How many toys were kept between E and F? Now tell me, in between E and F, how many toys are there? There are 4 toys, which is in option number E. More than 3. More than 3 is your answer. I hope you understood. Let's move forward to the next question. The next question is completely based on what? Your coding and decoding. Okay, let me just have this. Okay, the coding and decoding clearly says, in a certain code language, father is coded as what? D D R K C U, and Turkey is coded as RXP NCB. So now we are supposed to find out for what? Guitar, it seems. Now to get your answers, obviously you have to go through the given question. What is the logic behind it? The coding and decoding rules clearly says you are supposed to identify the logic given by your examiner. Now how do you identify your logic from this? Obviously by writing their place values. If you write your place values, it is 6, 1, 20, 8, 5, 18. Okay, these are the place values. You have to learn the place values. 4, 18, 11, 3, 21. Now if you closely look over here, 6 is becoming 4, so it is definitely minus 2, and 1 is becoming 4, so it is plus 3. So let's move forward. 20 became 18, so minus 2. 8 became 11, plus 3. 5 became 3, again minus 2. 18 became 21, again plus 3. So the format is very clear over here. It is minus 2 plus 3. Let us also observe whether the same relation is occurring in between this Turkey, and let's see here. Now T is 20. 20 is becoming 18, so minus 2. Very good, correct. 21 is becoming this 24. X is nothing but 24. So 21 became 24, it means plus 3. So the logic is quite simple. Minus 2 and plus 3 is the logic. Apply the same logic for the given question here. Guitar. This is 7, 21, 9, 21 and 18. Clear? Now let us apply the same logic. What is the logic over here? 7 minus 2 is 5. What is 7 minus 2? It is definitely 5. So the letter is E. 21 plus 3 is 24. It is X. 9 minus 2 is 7. 7th alphabet, we already got it over here. It's G. So 20 plus 3 is 23. 23rd letter is W. Next, 1 minus what? 1 minus 2, that is Y. So here comes Y. And 18 plus 3. 18 plus 3 is how much? 21. That is option number, the letter is U. So now EXGWYU is your answer. You're supposed to identify where is it. It is in the option number 3. Correct? No, option number 2 is your answer. That is B is your answer. I hope you understood. Very simple. The logic is -2 and +3. Let's move forward with the next question. What is the next question? Let's see here. Now this question is completely based on I think it is clearly based on the yes, it's talking about our directions. So let's see here. Let me just resize it so that you can understand it better. Okay, now so allow me to resize it. I hope you can observe it clearly. Right, next, Mr. Y starts walking from his house towards south. Okay, so now this is the starting point, this is the starting point, and this is the house of Mr. Y. From here he is going towards south, he is going towards south for 10 kilometers or meters to reach his son's school. So this is the school of his son. Okay, next he walks 15 meters more to the south. So he's not going to stop here, he is going to move another 15 meters towards the same direction, that is south. So yes, after reaching over here, where is this person is going to reach his office. So now this is the office of Mr. Y. Now initially he started from his house, and from this starting point he went to 10 kilometers or 10 meters, whatever it is. Don't worry about whether it is a meter, whether it is a kilometer. We always worry about the number, so I just wrote the number over here. So after traveling 10 meters he reached a school. From the school he again went 15 meters to reach his office. Now then he continues walking towards 30 meters east. Now this person is in what direction? South direction. In order to go east, this person has to take a left side, and how much? 30 meters. Okay, now from his office he took east and walked 30 meters and turns left and walks 25 meters. Now please observe here, 25 meters towards after walking in the east direction, if I have to go towards my left side, it is definitely north. And how many meters? 25 meters. So I have to come over here, because earlier when you said this is 10 and 15 is 25, so the exact mark is going to come over here. Now this is entirely 25, I'm just going to assume it as 25. From here he then walks 15 meters towards his left. Now 15 meters should be exactly half, because earlier you understand this line as 30. Now the 15 comes over here now and turns towards his left and walks 10 meters to reach the bank. Now 10 is again going to be over here. Now this has become his final point, or you can call it as what? A bank. Now he started his journey from the house and he went 10 meters to reach the school, and again 15 meters to reach the office. From the office he went east for 30 meters, and again he took a left turn and traveled 25 meters. From this 25 meters he took a left turn and traveled 15 meters. From this 15 meters again he took a left turn and traveled 10 meters. Now here he finishes his journey. Let's move forward and observe the questions. What is the question is asking about? In which direction is the bank with respect to his house? Please understand, with respect to his house. From the house point of view, if you observe here, where is this bank located? Now please do remember, he is not asking us to find out the shortest distance, he is just asking us to find out the direction. Then immediately I am just going to assume that particular point as my center. Now if you closely observe, the dotted line is indicating the imaginary line. Now this is not going exactly south, this is not going exactly east, but whereas the line stays in between south and east, so answer is option number D, southeast. Am I clear? Right, let's see the 11th question. What is it saying? What is the distance between the bank and school? Very clearly, bank and school, this is the distance he is asking us to Tell. Now earlier when you understood this complete line as how much 30, and till here exactly half you understood it as 15. So obviously this another line is going to be how much? 15. That is in the option number C. Very clearly I am saying you one more time. The distance in between the school and bank is 15. How? Because once you understood this line as 30 and we already understood up to here it is 15, so the remaining 15 becomes your answer. What is the total distance between the house and as well as office? Now the total distance from the starting point to this office, tell me what is the total distance? Very easy, that is 10 plus 15 is how much? 25 meters is your answer. I hope I am clear. Right, now let us move forward to the next question. Let's see what is the next question. Now it is talking about the inequalities. In which of the following question a statement is followed by two conclusions? Choose the appropriate option. Now the statement is clearly giving you some expression: P greater than M greater than Q, comma, N less than Z and Z less than Q. Okay, now the conclusions are two here. Please do remember, how do we solve our inequalities? Very simple. Based on the given conclusion, we are supposed to look into our statement. Now the statement, we don't have to copy it, we don't have to write it down. We are going to write or create our own statement based on what? Given conclusions. Now the conclusion A is talking about M and Z. Correct? Now where is this M and Z? M and Z are having one common friend, or one common element is there, that is Q. Now I am going to write down in this way. Observe here, M greater than Q. When Z is less than Q, if you reverse it, it is going to become as what? Q greater than Z. Am I correct? When both of them are going to interchange their places, obviously symbol has to change. Now always the rule says very clear, the least symbol. Here I don't have to tell you the least symbol. There is only one symbol, that is greater than. So answer is M greater than Z. But what is your examiner is saying? Greater than or equals to Z. Apart from the given conclusion, whatever conclusion we have received, apart from that information, if you are receiving any other information, you are going to say it as what? False. So the first one clearly false. Let's see the second one. Second one is talking about the relation in between N and P. N is less than P. Now whether, observe, N and P are not directly related with each other. So I have to clearly do what? I have to find out who is their common friend. The common friend is very clear. It is again Q. So let's write it down. What is that I have to take here is N less than Z less than Q. Correct? Now Q less than M and less than P. So end of the day, we are always going to have, I'm just going to write it down much more clear. So let's see here, I'm just going to take N less than Z less than Q less than M less than P. This is the statement I have observed from the given expression. Now tell me whether N is less than P. We have got only one expression in the entire statement. So second one is clearly correct answer. So option here is only 2 follows, only conclusion B follows, that is option number B. I hope you understood. Let's see the next question. What's the next question? It is talking about, if in the word agronomical, the words are arranged in reverse alphabetical order. Please let us write it down. Agronomical. The words are arranged in reverse alphabetical order. What do you mean by reverse alphabetical order? Reverse alphabetical order is nothing but writing them in the descending order. Please do remember. Then which is the fifth letter from the left end? Now this is going to be called as your left end and that is going to be called as your right end. Am I clear? Now let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is just asking us to find out what is the letter we are going to receive over here. When you write all the letters in the descending order or in the reverse alphabetical order. So what is the highest letter if at all you got here? That is R. That is the 18th letter in the English alphabet. What is the next letter we got here? O. O is actually repeated 2 times, so I'm just going to write them twice. What is the next letter we have here? N, because it's the 14th letter in English alphabet. What is the next one? That is our answer, that is M, 13th alphabet in English. So answer is option number C. Answer is what? Option number C. So let's see the next question, please. Very easy question. Now this is going to be based on sequencing. He has given us a sequence. Now the sequence is having a combination of your letters, combination of symbols, and a combination of your numbers. Consider the alphanumeric string given below consisting of letter, number and symbols, and answer the given questions. So what is the question given over here? Now please do observe, we have got a series or a sequence over here. Altogether we call them as elements. Elements are nothing but a combination of your letter, combination of your number, and combination of your symbol. Altogether we call them as a sequence or elements. Now tell me, what is my question asking? How many such numbers are there preceded by symbol and followed by an alphabet? Now it is impossible for us to remember the entire question in examination. That is why you are supposed to read this question, immediately write this entire information into a short way in which you can understand without looking into your question and again and again. So what is the way you represent? How many such numbers? After how many, whatever word is there, that is your hero in this particular question. Now this, how many numbers, that numbers I am going to represent it as what? N. Preceded by a symbol. You know what do you mean by preceded? Preceded is nothing but the before, and followed by an alphabet. Followed is nothing but, it is over here, the next is going to be called as what? Followed. Okay, now alphabet. So the entire information I wrote in a small way in which I can understand in my exam. I cannot refer each and every information, and I cannot look into the question again and again in examination. So that is why I've converted the entire lengthy question into a small way. By just observing this, I can say what exactly the question meant. Now N is actually kept exactly at the center, because after how many, whatever word is given by your examiner, that has to stay exactly at the center. Now I have to understand, number should be preceded by a symbol and number should be followed by an alphabet. In that way, how many are there? Let us observe here. Let's see what are the numbers we have got here. It is 1, 3. This is not 0, it is O. The 0 is over here, a much more oval shape. So please observe, 1, 3, 7, 4, 8, 5, 9, 0, 6. Now please observe, these are the numbers we have got. Very simple. Number should be preceded by a symbol. Now observe here in the sequence, whether number is preceded by a symbol? No. So 1 is gone. It has to satisfy both the conditions. You cannot just go with only one conditions. It has to be preceded with the symbol, and it should also got succeeded or followed by a alphabet. Now let us move forward with the 3. 3 has got a symbol preceded, but whether it is having a letter after 3? Yes, definitely. So this is correct. Let's go with the 7. Whether 7 is preceded by a symbol? No. Whether 4 is preceded by a symbol? No. 4 is preceded by 7, which is not a symbol, so that's also eliminated. 8 is preceded by M, but I have to get a symbol, so this is also gone. 5 should be preceded by a symbol. No, clearly it's not there. 9 is also not there. 0 is also not there. 6 is also not there. So overall, how many we got over here? 1. That is in the option number A. But do remember one thing, aspirants, in examinations you may receive 0. Yes, in examination sometimes you will have a 0 in this format. That is the intention of your examiner, that you have to waste your time by observing the entire question. So please be very careful. You have to do it only once. As soon as you got your answer as 0, immediately you are going to fumble yourself and you are going to refer the question again and again and waste your time. That is the main intention of your examiner. So please pay attention while solving these questions, and you have to solve it only once, because we cannot afford a lot of time in solving again and again. I hope I'm clear. Let's move forward with the next question. What is the next question? The same sequence. Here is going to give you 5 questions or 4 questions when it comes to the sequence model. Let's see here. What is the sum of the ranks? Read the question carefully. What is the sum of the ranks of the letter in the English alphabetical series? In the English alphabetical series, what is the rank? Rank is nothing but what is the place value he is asking you, which is immediately preceded by a symbol and followed by a number in the given series. They are talking about, please, in the sequence we have got alphabets. If any alphabet is preceded by a symbol and followed by a number, then he is asking us to tell me what is the place value of that particular alphabet. Or you, if at all we got multiple answers, then you are supposed to do this sum of those particular place values of each and every alphabet. He is asking you very clearly. Observe the sequence. In the sequence there are letters. If any letter is preceded by a symbol and followed by a number, then you are supposed to take the place value of that particular alphabet. And if it is more than one, then you are supposed to do the addition. What is the sum of the ranks of the letter in the English alphabetical series? So now let's see here. Let's jump into the alphabet. Alphabet should be preceded by a symbol. Whether V is preceded by a symbol? No. O is preceded by a symbol and it is also followed by a number, that is 1. So what is the place value? See, please observe here. O is preceded by exclamation, is definitely a symbol. O is followed by a number, that is 1. Now you are supposed to tell me the place value of O. What is the place value of O? It's 15. You have to keep it in your mind. If any other alphabet is occurring in the same model, then we are supposed to do the addition of those two. Sum is nothing but what? Addition. If it is not happening, we are not receiving any particular alphabet in the same sequence or in the same format, then I have to go with my answer as 15. Let's go with the another letter. B is not preceded by any symbol. Okay, N is not preceded by any symbol. M is also gone. G is also gone. H is also gone. E is also gone. A is also gone. C is not preceded by any symbol. K is not preceded by any symbol. E is also not preceded by any symbol. Then immediately my answer is what? 15. That is option number C is my answer. I hope you understood. Let's see the next question here. Again, it's all based on the sequence. As I told you, we might be seeing 5 questions of sequence. What is the absolute difference between the numbers which are placed in the consecutive positions of string? String is nothing but a sequence. This is nothing but a string. Mark your answer P. If multiple pairs such numbers are found, mark your answer as star if no such numbers are found. See, it is asking you what is the absolute difference between the numbers which are placed in the consecutive positions. Now, consecutive are nothing but immediately next to each other. Consecutive is nothing but what? Next to each other. You are supposed to identify in the sequence, do we have any numbers placed adjacent to each other, whether they are placed immediately to each other. Now, if you observe here, there are 2 numbers, that is 7 and 4. 7 and 4 are actually placed immediately to each other or consecutive to each other, adjacent to each other, neighboring each other. So lot of keywords. He is going to manipulate you with the keywords only. If at all you know the keywords, then the solution is very simple. So what is the absolute difference in between 7 and 4? 7 and 4, what is the absolute difference? That is 3. He is clearly giving, mark your answer as P if multiple pairs such numbers are found. Mark your answer as star if no such numbers are found. And what is the difference? If at all multiple is there, P. If at all 0 is there, star. Then what if you are receiving only 1? Then you have to go with the number we received as my answer. So please understand, do you see apart from 7 and 4, do you see any other numbers consecutive to each other or neighboring each other, adjacent to each other? No. So I received my answer as what here? 3. So I cannot go with my answer as P, because you are supposed to consider your answer as P if only multiple ways are occurring. No, we have received only 1. So my answer is option number A, that is 3. I hope I am clear. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, yes, sequencing are going to give you 5 marks in exam. That is why this is a very important. How many such symbols? I'm just going to write down yes. After how many, whatever keyword is given, I'm just going to write it down in a short way. Immediately preceded and followed by letters. Please understand, a symbol should be having both the sides as what? Letters, it seems. Let's see here. Let's go with the exclamation. Exclamation is a symbol and it is covered by both the sides with a letter. So yes, 1. Let us go with the at the rate. Whether at the rate is having both the sides as letter? No. 3 is not a letter. So let's move forward with the symbol, that is hash. Whether hash is having both the sides as letters? No. How about the greater than? Greater than also is not having both the sides letters. So how many are there in this pattern? Only 1. So that is option number A. Am I clear? Right, now let's move forward with the next question. Which of the following term comes 5th to the right of the 15th term from the left end of the string? This is also a sequence question, but unfortunately I did not have the sequence over here, but the question is completely based on the sequence only. What is this mentioning? 5th to the right. 5th to the right, you are supposed to write it as 5R, and 15th term from the left end should be written as 15L. Always remember, the sequence questions cannot be remembered in examination because they are going to be very lengthy. Then you are supposed to write down in a short way. We are always writing in a short form only. You cannot afford your time in your examination by reading the entire question for 2 times or 3 times. It is not at all possible. As soon as you read it, you are supposed to write it in a short way. So these type of models of questions, these type of writing, which I am going to clearly tell you, you are supposed to remember it, and please adapt according to the conditions and make sure you write them very quickly. Now after writing them, please do remember, apply the shortcut. The shortcut is always come from your left side, come from your right side. You are supposed to do 15 plus 5. You know why? Because both of them are different directions. If at all you see different directions, see, direction is right and left, same direction or opposite direction or different directions? Yes, definitely opposite directions. When it is occurring opposite direction, please, you are supposed to add them. If at all you are going with the same direction, you are going to do the subtraction in the sequence. I am clearly saying you, we got 2 different directions. If at all you got R and R, then you are supposed to do the subtraction. So 15 minus 5 is going to be 10. But now your answer is what? 20, because both of them are moving in the opposite direction. So my answer is what? So 20. So tell me, what is the 20th element from the left side? Let us count it from V, because this is going to be your left side. So let's count the 20th element. 1 2 3 I'm sorry 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. My answer is 6. Now let's observe, where do we have that option? That option is in D. That is my answer. So very simple. Let me tell you, after writing that complete information saying that 5R and 15L, both of them are in the opposite direction. If opposite directions are occurring, you are supposed to add them. So 15 plus 5 became what? 20. In case you are receiving the same direction, that is left and left and right, always understand that you are supposed to do the subtraction. But immediately you will have one more doubt. Sir, how come you considered the left only? How come you understood it as 20 left? Why are you not going with the 20 right? Please do remember, whatever direction, whatever side we have towards our extreme right hand side, what is it you see here? Left. Then you are marking your answer as what? Left only. If at all you see right here, then you have to mark your, you have to go and proceed with the right side. So it is very important to observe your question. What is the ultimate extreme right hand side? What is the side we have got here? Then only we are going to decide our answer. Now let's see here. Let's go with the next question. Again they are going with the what? Inequalities. We have got a statement over here with two conclusions. Let's find out. If you closely observe your conclusions, you see Z and Z, U and U. In conclusion 1 and in conclusion 2, you see the same alphabets. When same alphabets are occurring, please do remember 90% our answer is either or. 90%. You have the same alphabet Z and U in the conclusion 1 and in conclusion 2, 90% our answer is either or. 100% I am going to say it as either or only if both the conclusions are appearing in a single statement. I hope I am not fast. I am going to show you. See, the conclusion 1 and 2 is talking about two persons only, that is Z and U. Now observe in your statement, where is Z and where is U? U is towards your left hand side corner, Z is towards your right hand side corner. We are supposed to identify who is their common friend. Who is the common friend in between Z and as well as U? That is K. Let's use this K, that is Z less than or it's going to become greater than or equals to K. Now K greater than or equals to V greater than or equals to U. This is the way I am going to write it down. So I took this entire information and I have reversed it. K less than or equal to Z became actually as what? Z greater than or equals to K. Clear? Now by observing my shortcut, the shortcut clearly says there is only one symbol or the least symbol is going to be your answer. But whereas here we have got only one symbol, that is greater than or equals to. So my answer is Z greater than or equals to U. Am I correct? Now if you go individually and mark your answers, first one and second one are going to be false, because what is the relation you got from both Z and U? It is greater than and or equals to. But the first one is clearly saying it is only greater than. Do you think it is only greater than? No. Along with greater than we also got here equal to. So that is why first one is wrong. If you observe the second one individually, equal to symbol, can you say it is only equal to? So that is why this is also wrong. Please do remember, you cannot ignore both of them. You cannot say neither one nor to my answer. No, because if I combine both of them, I am going to receive the same statement. You are receiving the individual information. When you look into the individual information, yes, they are going to be wrong. But you cannot ignore the complete information because you have received greater than or equals to. You cannot say they cannot have the relation of greater than, they cannot have the relation of equal to. You cannot say it in that way. You are supposed to accept one information. So both the conclusions are appearing in a single statement over here. So the first one is having greater than, second one is having equal to. Both the conclusions are appearing in a single statement. Then immediately they are going to be called as what? Contradictory pairs. You cannot just ignore them. So that is why my answer is option number B, either 1 or 2. Let's see the next question. Next question is based on again inequalities. Let's observe the conclusions first. Conclusions again same alphabets K and K, T and T. 90% my answer is either or. I'm just going to conclude my answer 100% only if both the symbols are appearing in a single statement. So let's see here. K and T is not have any direct relation, but K got relation with A. K less than or equals to S, less than or equals to A, less than or equals to Y, equals to T. You don't have to bother about the D here because it's not our concern. Here they are talking about K and T. Now let's see. The smallest symbol is always going to win. In between equal to and less than or equals to, it's always less than or equals to is going to win. So please do understand, I'm not going to teach you the entire basics. The entire basics concept of inequality is going to give you a lot of time. So we are discussing a test paper. So that is why I'm straight away saying you the shortcut, saying that in between these two, equal to and less than or equals to, less than or equals to is the relation you are supposed to consider. So now if you go individually, both of them are going to be false, because you cannot say it is only less than, you cannot say it is only equal to, but both the conclusions are appearing in a single statement. Both the conclusions, or I have to inform you, both the symbols are appearing in a single statement. You cannot just ignore less than, you cannot just ignore equal to. That is why when both of them are appearing in a single statement, immediately my answer becomes what here? Either 1 or 2. That is in the option number D. If at all both the conclusions are not appearing, you can go with the one of the given conclusions. Okay, now let's see the next question. What's the next question here? Okay, now it's a syllogism. Statements are saying you that only a few memories are things, no thing is a mind. Please do remember, only a few concept is very clearly saying the relation in between the particular memories and things are going to be sum plus sum not. And how do you draw it? Let us observe here. I have to say few memories are things. So the elements whatever you got it over here cannot be given to whom here? T. Please do remember, you cannot give all the elements of M to whom here? T. You can give only few elements which is clearly having intersection over here. Only few. You cannot give each and every element of M to whom? T. Right, next. No thing is a mind. So this is memory. So I'm just going to write it down, ME. No thing. No means they are not going to have any intersection. So I'm just going to place it in this way. Before moving on to your conclusions, try to understand your statement very thoroughly. Now this MI cannot intersect with whom? Only T. Please remember, you need to understand this MI cannot intersect with whom here? Only T. I don't have to bother whether it is tiger, whether it is thing, whether it is MI, whether it is mind. Never bother what exactly is the meaning of that particular word. You are always supposed to consider only the first letter. If the first letter is repeated, then go with the second letter. That's it. Now let's go with the conclusion number 1. What is the conclusion number 1 says? Some memories are minds. This is a positive conclusion. Please do remember, if a positive conclusion is true, it is always true. You don't have to write any alternative diagram. You don't have to take any complementary pairs. So positive, some memories are minds. Now memories and mind, whether they are having any relation? No, they are not having any relation. So first one is gone. You cannot ask me, sir, why are you not intersecting them? It is never asking us to go and intersect. Whether they are already intersecting? No, that is what I have to tell you here. Next one. All minds can never be memories. Again, this is a possibility case. How come I understood this is a possibility? By observing a keyword called what? Can. all minds can never be memories. Can never be means they cannot have the intersection. This is what your examiner is claiming. Sometimes your examiner may be true as well, sometimes he may be not. So all minds can never be memories. He's just asking us to assume, can I bring this mind inside memory? Now for an example, let's just go and place mind inside memory. This is the way I'm just going to draw it. Mind cannot intersect whom here? T. Now without intersecting with T, can I bring this Mi and place it with the inside the memory? Yes, this can be done. Clearly there is no violation. If at all you got any problem, sir, whether we are violating any given statement, you can go through your statement. Statement is clearly saying these two cannot intersect. What is the problem if I bring this Mi inside Me? Is that a problem? No, it is not a problem. But your examiner is claiming that it cannot be done. So that person is clearly wrong. When you can achieve it, your examiner clearly says, no, you cannot do it. Immediately you have to say your examiner as a false one. So for an example, if I say 1 plus 1 is 3, are you going to accept? No, because you know the answer as 2. In the same way, when you know these two can intersect with each other, but your examiner says no, they cannot intersect, immediately you can say it as what? False. So my answer is neither 1 nor 2, that is in the option number D. Hope you understood. Let's move forward with the next question. Again we have got a question based on the syllogism. Some tigers are coins, all coins are USBs. So I'll just write down all coins are USBs. That is the way you are supposed to draw. Some tigers are coins. In order to go and intersect with coin, obviously I do not have any other choice. I have to go through you only. There is no other choice for you. Right, next. Some USBs are 2s. Now this is tigers. Some USBs are 2s, whatever it is. Now this is all positive statement. Please do remember, this is all your positive statement. It is just asking us to intersect in between U and as well as TW. Do not go and intersect with C. Do not go and intersect with TI immediately while you are drawing your basic diagram. It is never given in our statement. Okay, please do remember. Now let's go into the conclusions. Some 2s are a tiger. Please do remember, this is a positive conclusion. Do not draw any alternative diagram. Positive is true, always true. Positive is false, always false. So some 2s are tigers, whether they are having any intersection saying that some relation is occurring in between them. No, clearly they are not intersecting. So positive is false, always false. Now let's see. Some USBs are tigers. Now please observe here. Some USBs or tigers are having intersectioning over here. As I told you very clearly, when this tiger going and intersecting with C, it has to go through U. That is why my answer is definitely correct. So option number 2 is going to be followed. So answer is only conclusion 2 follows option number B. I hope I am clear. Right. Next one. Now let's see here, what is the next one saying? Some yarns are clouds. Some yarns are clouds. Some clouds are not hats. Some clouds are not going to be hats. This arrow mark is indicating very clearly some elements of clouds cannot be giving it to whom? Hats. What does that mean? You cannot allow only some. The other some is always going to be allowed, but you are not supposed to draw intersection in between them straight away while you are drawing your basic diagram. Now please understand, I am trying to give you maximum information while teaching you the test paper only, but please do remember, you need to have very good basics, which I am going to teach you in my YouTube channel and as well as in my app. So please do follow it. So here, some hats are pigs. Some hats are pigs. It is very clear. Let's go with the conclusions. Some pigs are yarns. This is a positive one. Positive is true, always true. You don't have to write your alternative diagram. Whether pig and yarn are intersecting with each other? No. So when it's a false, it's always false. Next, some pigs are clouds. Pig is over here and cloud is over here. Whether they are intersecting already when you have drawn your basic diagram? No. So please don't try to bring them and try to intersect. This is not a possibility. He's just asking you the definite case, whether it is happening or not in your basic. No, it is not happening. So this is also going to be false. Answer is neither one nor two follows. That's in the option number D. Right, let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is based on the, again, a very good question. 7 persons were born in the years 1962 and 67, 75, 82, 87, 93 and 96. But in the same month, okay, very good. No 2 persons were born in the same year, very good. 7 persons are there, 7 years are there. No 2 persons are born in the same month, it's same year it seems, but they are all born in the same month. That month is not given over here, that's not our concern. The age was calculated based on the base year 2020. Now please tell me, if I want to find out the age of those particular persons, up to the 2020, he gave us very clearly that you are supposed to calculate age on the basis of 2020. When the 2020 the age is 58, the person who was born in the 1962 obviously is going to have the age of 58. So in between these two it's 53. The person who was born in 67 is going to have the age up to 2020 as what? 53. And the 75 person, I mean the 1975 person up to 2020, the age is 45. And the 82 to 2020, the age is going to be how much? 38, I think so. Yes, 38. Right, next one. 87 guy and 2020 guy is going to have the age of 33. Next, 93 guy is going to have the age of 27, and the 96 is going to have up to 2020 is how much? 24. Am I correct? So I'm going to tell you very clearly, this is the person's year. This is the person's year, and these are their ages up to 2020. Now let's go and find out the question. What is it saying? Let's find out our puzzle. 2 persons were born in between N and Q. Okay, let me write it down. In between N and Q, how many persons are there? 2 persons are there. Okay, next. O was born before S. Clearly saying O was born before S, or you can say O is the elder person when you compare with the S, but not immediately. They are not immediate persons. So not immediate persons, please. More than 2 persons, this is a very good key information. More than 2 persons were born between M and P. In between M and P, more than 2 persons. More than 2 is nothing but definitely more than 2. It should be more than 3. I mean 3 persons should be there in between M and P. That is what it is mentioning. More than 2 is what? You cannot go with 2. You have to go with 3, 4 or something like that. Right now, Q is 5 years elder than M. So Q is more than M with how many years? 5 years. R was born in a leap year. So R is definitely a leap year, it seems. So now let's see here. What is a leap year? 1962 is a leap year. And 1982 is a leap year. And 1996 is a leap year. Now with this information, I'm just going to solve it. See, these are the years where they have born, and these are their ages when you calculate it up to 2020, and this is the information he has given us. In between Q and N, there should be 2 persons. O is the elder person when you compare with S. In between M and P, more than 2 persons. More than 2 is nothing but you cannot go with only just 2. You are supposed to go more than 2. More than 2 is nothing but 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. Q is elder than M. It is clearly saying, and how many years? 5 years. So please observe, 5 years are going to have it over here and over here, correct? Let's go with one of the possibility. I'm going to show you the one of the possibility. One of the possibility is clearly showing you, okay? So let's write it down here. Now if I place Q here, M is going to come because they are going to have 5 years of gap. Very good. Now in between Q and N, there should be how many persons? 2 persons, 1 and 2, and here comes N. Am I clear? Correct? Because I cannot go above, so I have to go below only. Right, next one. In between M and P, there should be 3 persons. More than 2 is, I'll go with 3. 1, 2, 3. I can place P here or P here. Let me just write it down. P here, because there is one information which we are missing over here. You know what is that information? I'll just show you. Just give me a second. The information is R was born in a leap year. It is clearly showing you R was born in a leap year. So if I bring P at this particular position, you may not receive to place R. That is why I'll just write the R over here, and the O and S persons are going to come here and here. Very simple logic. I have placed it very easily. Q and M are having 5 years of gap, so I have placed Q here and M over here. In between Q and N, 2 persons are there. Yes, condition satisfied. In between M and P, there should be more than 2 persons. More than 2 persons, I went with 3. 1, 2, 3. Sir, why did you go with 3 only? Why not with 4? I already told you, if I place P here, there is no chance of placing R, because R has to stay in the leap year only. The leap year leftover is definitely 96 here. That's why I went with a difference of 3 people in between M and P. Am I clear with this? Now R is going to settle at the last position. O and S are going to have the remaining places, and it is clearly mentioned in the line O is the elder one when you compare with S. Clear? Now let's move forward and read out the questions. You might be having one more doubt, sir, why are you not going with the any other possibility? Let us go with the another possibility as well. If you allow me, I'll just show you. So let me go with the another possibility. Now for an example, if I go Q and M over here, okay, 2 persons should be there in between Q and as well as N. So 1 and 2, so here comes N. In between M and P, there should be more than 2 persons. More than 2 persons means 1 and 2 cannot be done. More than 2 is definitely 3. 1, 2, 3. I have to bring P here. So if I bring P here, now this N is going to come down as here. But please observe, do we have any position left over for R? Because R has to come in the leap year. That is why this possibility is gone and this is correct. Okay, I hope you understood. Right, now let's move forward with the questions. How many persons were born before O? How many persons? 2 persons. That is option number D. Difference between the ages of N and P is, now let's see the age of N and P. What is the difference? It is 11 years. Option number E. 4 of the following were in a certain group. Which of the following that does not belong to that group? It is nothing but odd man out. Odd man out is very clearly saying out of 5 given options, 4 are going to stay in a different way. Let's see. O is having a 45 years. S is having a 33 years. M is having 53 years. Okay, next N is having N is having a 38 years and Q is having 58 years. So my answer is M here. You know why? Very simple strategy. Age is the only prime number we have got over here. Rest of them all are going to be even numbers or composite numbers. So that is why my answer is M. You can recheck it. Next, sum of the ages of R and O is, R age is 24 and O age is 45. What is the sum in between 24 and 45? Obviously 69. 69 is the option number D. Next, which of the following combination is true according to their ages? Let's see here. M is greater than P, correct? P is less than R. No, option number A is gone because P is greater than R. Q greater than M, yes. M greater than R, yes. R greater than N, no. R is definitely less than. Let's go with the option number C. M is less than Q, correct? M is less than Q and Q is greater than O, correct? O is less than, no. O is definitely greater than N. Option number C is also gone. Let's go with the option number D. O is less than M, correct? M is less than Q, correct? Q is greater than N, yes, correct. So answer is option number D for this. Clearly option number D is my answer. So let's move forward with the next questions. And what is the question we have got here? It's a circular question. Very good question. 8 persons A to H were seated around a circular table facing the center. So let me just draw a circular table. Please mind you, I'm always going to go with lines. I'm not comfortable drawing a circle. I'll just go in this way. Every person is facing the center. If any information is not given by your examiner, by default you can understand they're all facing towards the center. Now, facing the center is given by your examiner, so no need to worry. If that information is not given, then immediately you are supposed to understand they are facing towards each other. And the best position to start with, if they are facing towards the center, this is the position you are supposed to observe here, because you can place your own left side and right side. Now let's go with the information. D was seated second to the right of A. Very good. Second to the right of A is nothing but the second position should be occupied by D. Not two persons are there in between A and D. A and E were immediate neighbors. It is mentioning neighbors. Neighbors are nothing but either immediately left or immediately right, but it is never mentioned whether it is exactly towards right side or exactly towards left side. It is not given. Two persons were seated between D and H. Okay, now for an example, if I place A here, because there is a good information with the A and D, A's second right, that's over here. Who is going to come? D. Next one, let's observe here. A and D are the immediate neighbors. A and E are the, so immediate neighbor is either right side or left side. I'll just hold this information, but remember A and E are going to come adjacent to each other. Now, two persons were seated between D and H. Now, two persons are there in between D and H. Two persons it is mentioned, but is it mentioned towards the right side or left side? No. So, if I go with the right side, H can come over here, correct? And H can come over here. So, I will always refer this position. You know why? Immediately, sir, why are you not going towards the right side of D? Why did you choose the left side of D? Why did you place H over here? Very simple strategy, because A and D are immediate neighbors. Now, the possibility is cutting down to only one particular position. If I write H at this particular position, I might be having two possibilities, writing E at left side of A or right side of A. So, which is going to be a lengthy procedure. In order to cut down the possibility, if I place H here, automatically I have to bring E here only, because E is the immediate neighbor of A. So, this left side and right side writing is very mandatory. Please, it is going to give you a very good clarity in your exam. So, this is the way I have placed four persons, right? Next one, what is the next information we have got here? C was seated to the immediate left of G. Immediate left of G, I have to bring C, it seems. Two persons were seated between C and E. Please understand, in between C and E, two persons should be there. Now, observe here carefully. E is over here. It is not given whether I have to go from right side or left side. So 1 and 2, I can bring C here, that is opposite to A. 1 and 2, I can bring C here, that is opposite to D. But there is a prior information related to C saying that C was seated immediate left of G. Immediate left of G. Now if I bring C here, is it possible to bring G here? If I bring G here, it becomes the immediate right. But C has to be seated immediate left of G, here already occupied by H. So that is why I cannot bring C towards the immediate left of H. If I allow C at this particular position, so understand, two persons are there in between E and as well as C. 1 and 2, I can bring C over here, that is opposite to A. There are two persons. Immediate left of G, C should be sitting, so I can allow G here. So this is the way I am going to apply them. Immediate left of G, C has to come here, correct? There are only two places vacant now. Let's move on to the next information. What is it? Not more than two persons were seated between B and E when counted from the right side of B. See, please observe here. If I place B here, right side of B, not more than two persons, 1 and 2. Only two persons are there in between B and E when you count from the right side of B. Next, the distance between immediate neighbors is a constant. Constant nothing but they are equidistant from each other. The same distance they are maintaining. Okay. So, in between B and E, two persons should be there when you go from the right side of B. If I place B here, there won't be two persons when you go from the right side of B. So, the leftover persons we have got here is, I think it's F. Correct? Right. Now, let's see the questions. Hope you understood this. Right? Who was seated second to the right of F? Second to the right of F is G. That is option number D. Who among the following was seated adjacent to B? Adjacent is nothing but immediate right and immediate left. That is G and H. G and H is available in the option number C. What is the position of E with respect to F? With respect to F, what is the position of E? From the F's point of view, if you observe E, second to the left. Second to the left is in the option number C. If all persons were seated consecutively in an English alphabetical order starting from A in anti-clockwise direction, then how many position remains unchanged? So he's just asking us to go and write down in the anti-clockwise A, B, C, D. So now E, F, G, H. How many are going to stay in the same position? If at all you include A, there are 2. If at all you exclude A, that is only 1, H. Now what is it? Excluding A. So excluding A, only one person is sitting in the same positions, that is H. Rest of them all are going to have the different position, but H is going to stay in the same position. Now, which of the following statements are true? So once you are moving forward to the questions, all the places went back to its original places. Remember that information. So A was seated second to the left of B. Please observe here, second to the left of B, whether A is there? No. That is why it's not a true one. G was seated second to the right of F. Second to the right of F, whether do you see G? Yes. So my answer is option number B. I don't have to worry about this C, D and E option because we already received our answers. So don't waste your time by just moving forward. Okay. Right, next, let's see the next question. How many such pairs of letters are there in the somersault? Please take the same letters what your examiner is giving. do not come up with your own letters, or do not come up with your own words. Okay, please make sure you always, even though you know the spelling of that particular word, write down the same exact letters used by your examiner. Sometimes students may go with their own flow and write their own spelling, so please. So what is it saying? How many such pairs of letters are there in the word somersault, each of which has as many letters between them in the words as in the English? Very simple logic. It is asking you whatever distance you are going to see in the English alphabet. See, it is mentioning. Now for an example, let me show you what is the difference in between A and E. In the English, how many alphabets are there in between them? There are 3 alphabets. Am I correct? There, how many alphabets in between A and E? 3. If the same gap is occurring in the given particular word, then you are going to call them as pair. Whatever collision they are occurring in the English alphabet, if the same collision is occurring in over here, then you are going to call it as a pair. Otherwise, we are never going to call it as a pair. Now please observe, in between B and D, how many letters are there? Only one letter is there. If you see only one letter in between B and D in the given word, then you call it as a pair. Am I clear? Now let's see. In order to solve this question, obviously we are going to write the place values, which is going to be very easy for you if you know the place values. Otherwise you are going to have a lot of problem. But please remember, if you really want to solve the test paper, you need to have a very good basics, because all of a sudden we are seeing a different type of questions. We are seeing coding and decoding, we are seeing symbols and notations, we are seeing seating arrangement, puzzles, ranking, everything is included. If you are very much confident, if at all, we have seen syllogism, we have seen inequalities, all random questions are popping up over here. I cannot teach you each and every basic of that particular topic. Test paper, if you are solving it, then you have to be thorough with the basic knowledge, then only you can solve. Now for these questions, if you write their place values, immediately you can say what is your answer. Now please observe, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 26. You do not see any number after 19 which is going to be collided. So this is not going to have any pair. See, in the other words, you are supposed to read out the alphabets. Whatever alphabets you are going to come across after S in English, if they are appearing here, then you call it as a pair. See, for an example, S is over here. What is the next alphabet in English after S? T. If you see T here, then you call it as a pair. This is what it is teaches over here. Am I clear? But if you write the place values, if you know the place values and write the place values, I'm saying you, by just observing the place values, you can easily identify whether you are going to receive any pair or not. So let's see here. 15. After 15, 16, 17, 18. Yes. O and R is a pair, because if you read the English alphabet, O, P, Q, R, they are going to have the same relation in the English alphabet, and the same relation is occurring in between them. Relation is nothing but the distance. If the same distance is occurring, then you are going to call them as what? A pair, right? You cannot just leave it and move forward with the next letter. You have to finish it till the end. Now let us observe. O, P, Q, R. R is already gone. Yes, yes, O and S is also a pair. O and S is also a pair, because whatever distance it is maintaining in the English alphabet, the same distance is having over here, then you are going to call them as what? Pairs. Next, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. Yes, again it is going from here. So O and U. So let's move forward. O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. No. So we are done with O. Next, let's go with the M. M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. Yes, M and T is a pair, because the distance in between M and T in English alphabet, the same distance is observed over here, then we are going to call it as a pair. If you go with the place values, if at all you are thorough with the place values, it's going to be much more clearer for you. I'm clearly saying you it's going to be very easy if you use the place values, but I am teaching you with the alphabets because some of the beginners may observe this video and you may see this question as a very hard, but remember this is the easiest question and a definite question in all the competitive examination in India. So please make sure you learn them properly. Next one, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. No, nothing is colliding. R and S are immediate alphabets in English. So R and S is definitely a pair. Now R, S, T, U, and again R and U are going to be a pair here. So overall how many we got here? It's 6 we got. See, if you look in the options, we got 5, 9, 8, 6, 7. So let's observe here. Next, let's go with the S, T, U, S and U, yes and U. Because in between S and U there will be only one letter in English, and here also we see only one letter. So as of now we got 7. Let's move forward. Next, A, B, C, D, U, V, W, L, M. It's not available. Please do remember, not only solving from your left side, you should always go from the right side when it comes to these particular questions. Now I'll go with the place values. After 20 you will have only 6 alphabets, but it is more than 6. You cannot go beyond 6. I mean, you cannot go beyond 26. You cannot just go with 27 and 28. So T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. We are never going to bother about the rest of the alphabets. Now after 12 let's go 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Anything is colliding? No. This is 21. After 21, 22 should be there. It's not there. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. No, you don't have to worry about 27. Only up to 26. Next, let's go with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. But if you closely observe the numbers, it's going to be much more clear, much more easiest way. 18, you are not seeing more than 18 over here except 19, but it has to come adjacent. It is going somewhere else. Next, 5, no, immediately 13, 15, 19 cannot be happen. 13, 14 should be there. No, 15 is there. 15, 16 should be there. So overall how many pairs we are going to receive? We are going to receive only 7. That's my answer. Hope you understood. So friends, this is your channel Love for Reasoning, and this is the test paper I have explained you. Hope you understood. If you really like my teaching, you can download my app Love for Reasoning, because I'm going to teach you exclusively the test papers and as well as basic information of reasoning. And you can also subscribe my channel Love for Reasoning in YouTube. I hope you understood. Thank you very much.